Hello, and welcome back to Diecast Graveyard. My name is Paul. Thanks for joining me today. Today we have a 1956 Ford pickup truck. Now this one is a Zamac coated truck, which is going to make this a lot easier. We're going to go ahead and strip it down and take those flames off there, and we're going to do a really nice custom with this truck to support an old oil company called Sinclair. I remember those gas stations when I was younger and like that, and they're still around, but they're few and far between. But we're going to have a lot of fun today. Go ahead, grab your favorite adult beverage, and if you don't drink, go ahead and grab a Coke or a coffee or a water or whatever, and sit back and relax as we do today's custom. This one is going to be great, and I hope you get a lot out of this. Let's go ahead and get started with today's build.
It's time to start the autopsy.
I've already got the truck drilled apart. Let's go ahead and look at some of the pieces. Now we're going to go ahead and get away from these wheels, and we're going to replace them with some beautiful Samed wheels. Now these ones don't have the white lettering on them, but I want to go ahead and use these anyway. So let's go ahead and snip out the little piece that retains the axle, and we'll put some really nice Samed wheels in there. All you have to do is remove one of the tabs there, at least the single tab. There's 3 tabs there. There's 2 in the front and 1 in the back. Go ahead and remove the single tab if you can. Sometimes they come out nice and easy, sometimes they don't. Now this base is made of metal, so it's a little bit tougher to get that thing snipped. Let's go ahead and bend it out of there. There we go. We'll go in there with a file, maybe a screwdriver, widen that out a little bit so we can get the new wheels in. Just make sure you clear that channel, and you'll be able to get your wheels in with no issues. All right, let's go ahead and move on. I went ahead and test fitted the wheels. They look absolutely beautiful. We're going to have to secure those though with some super glue there, but that'll work out pretty good. Let's move on. Okay, here's the interior. I want to go ahead and chop off the blower on top, and I want to replace that with some fuel injection, just to mix it up a little bit here, make it a little bit different. I'm going to have to widen the hole with a file, but again, that's no issue.
Someone is being exhumed.
Let's continue to work on the engine. Again, I cut off that blower, and I replaced it, or will replace it, with the fuel injection. I just like the looks of that a little bit better. But that's the beauty about building these custom cars. You can do what you want, and that's the fun part right there. And I hope you have your adult beverage in your hand while you're watching. We may have to trim that down with the file just a little bit to get it to fit properly. There's a lot of filing, a lot of cutting, and a lot of test fitting when you're doing stuff like this. That looks good. That looks really good. Excellent. There you go. We'll get that glued in later because we still have to get those flames off the side for the paint job that I want to do. Let's go ahead and move on. Alright, here we are using a dry erase marker. Now this one here is black. It's a little bit easier to see. You can get these anywhere, like at Dollar General, Walmart, etc. All you have to do is rub it on the decal. Wipe it off. There you go. And it'll slowly remove it. Now some people say use acetone and like that. Acetone works, but it's so harsh. This has acetone in it, but it works a lot slower. And there's today's tip from your Uncle Paulie. Keep repeating the steps until you completely have your decal removed. Now, one thing you do have to be aware of is that since this pen does have acetone in it, if you use it too much in one area, it will start to take away your clear finish. And if you look on the passenger door, up by the door handle, you can see a little spot on there where I removed just a little bit too much. But that's okay. We're going to paint the car anyway. Just be aware of that, and that will let your paint jobs turn out really good. Now we get all these decals off. Because it's a Zamac car, we're not going to have to put it in the stripper, which is really, really cool. It saves you a definite step. Slow but sure, it's coming off. And then you can get in there in the cracks and stuff in the doors and you can get that black marker out of there. Real easy to clean up. There you go. See that? Let's get your little razor in there and clean that up. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and click on that little bell to be alerted to any future videos that come out. If you're getting anything out of this content in my videos, please mash that like button. It helps me create content for you. And here I'm explaining that that's that little spot on there that I use the pen just a little bit too much. But we'll be able to fix that. Let's move on.
Meanwhile, back in the graveyard.
Okay, we're ready to paint. We cleaned it up with Zep degreaser. Now we're going to come in, and again, the theme of this truck that I'm wanting to do is Sinclair oil. So the first thing we're going to paint with is Spectre Flame lime green or apple green, and we're going to coat the entire truck. Now first I'm getting all the hard to reach places, up in the fender wells, on the inside of the truck, etc., in the bed, all the hard to reach areas. And we're going to paint that up, put some light coats on it, let it set about 10 or 15 minutes, and then we're going to come back in again and give it a saturation coat. I love these Spectre Flame colors. That's looking really good. It may seem like I'm putting a lot of paint down, but I'm actually not. I'm just slowly building up the layers. And that's the importance of doing these paint jobs. Take your time, build them up slow. If you try to saturate the whole thing right off the bat, the paint will run on you. That's guaranteed. And you're going to have to clean it up and do it all over again. I truly enjoy making these videos for you. Now, if you have any questions, please reach out in the comments. Let me know your questions. I do my best to answer them. I do read every single comment, I promise you. But I get hundreds of emails every week, and sometimes I just can't get back to everything. But I do the best I can. I let the paint sit for approximately 24 hours. Now I'm coming back in with the darker green on the back, and I'm going to do a fade here. I love doing the work with the airbrush. Now, don't be intimidated by picking up an airbrush and using it. And if you have any questions or you need some advice, I've got plenty of other videos out there, like how to select an airbrush, how to select a compressor, things like that, etc., etc. And that's in my how-to section. And again, if you have any questions, please reach out. I don't have a problem sharing my knowledge and information with you. I do this for fun. And if I can help you with your hobby, that's my goal, and that's my total intention. Now, unfortunately, I did lose the footage of me putting in the decals on the car here. I printed those myself, and that's what I used when I went to put this truck together. But then I clear coated it with my Diecast Graveyard Clear Coat. You can get my Diecast Graveyard Clear Coat at diecastgraveyard.com. Now, I've been formulating this for about 2 years, and it'll make your customs look absolutely like glass. Now, with the Spectre Flame paints, you don't have to put clear coat over them. They dry nice and clean and clear and beautiful. But if you're going to use decals, or even if you want that little bit of extra shine, check out my Diecast Graveyard Clear Coat at diecastgraveyard.com. Guys like Paul from Fat Guy Productions, Scott from Southpaw Diecast, and there's a whole slew of others. Beard Does Diecast. Daryl up there in Indiana, he does a beautiful job too, and he's used my clear coat, and he swears by it also. So please check it out at diecastgraveyard.com. I think we've got just enough blend here of the light green and the dark green. That fade is looking absolutely incredible. Now, normally when I fade, I will fade it from the rear to the front, dark to light. Sometimes you can go from that dark to light from the bottom of the vehicle to the top. Again, I apologize. I lost the footage of me putting the vehicles on, but the Sinclair logo looks fantastic. Here's the Samed wheels. Here's the fuel injection we're putting in instead of the blower. That looks good. Now, the windshield did have a few microscopic cracks. We'll fix those at a later time. So we got all the parts here. Everything's ready to go. Let's go ahead, put everything together, and give my creation life.
Lies! Lies! Do you hear me? Give my creation life!
And here's what we started with. This 1956 Ford pickup. Now, this Zamac, beautiful car. It's I love using the Zamac cars because you don't have to put a metallic base on them. But we got everything apart. We put some beautiful Samed wheels on there. We went ahead and changed out the blower for some fuel injection. We put some great decals on there, and we used some beautiful Spectre Flame paint to give it a fade from a dark green to a light green. And that was a lot of fun. And again, I hope you got a lot out of this video. And if you did, mash that like button. It helps me produce content for you. I'm getting super close to 10,000 subscribers, and when I do, we're going to have a party and we're going to give away a bunch of prizes. So check that out. Also, I've got a massive build-off coming up here in the very, very near future. Video will be following. So please check all that out, and we're going to have a lot of fun with that. This has been great. Let's move on. And here's what we got to. Look how beautiful this truck turned out. I used the Sinclair decals that I made and did that beautiful faded paint job, coated it with my Diecast Graveyard Clear Coat, the incredible, beautiful Samed wheels on this truck, and this truck turned out beautiful. I had an incredible, fun time doing this vehicle for you. Now, like I always say, folks, you can do this too. All you have to do is follow the videos that I put out. Follow the videos of my other friends out there. Paul from Fat Guy, Scott from Southpaw Diecast, Simple Customs by Eddie, The Godfather, Paco's Garage. He does some great stuff. All kinds of great things and a lot of great builders that people, they do some incredible videos and you can definitely learn from them. Thank you for joining me today on Diecast Graveyard. I can't thank you enough. We got a lot more videos and a lot more content coming up in the near future. Please subscribe, hit that bell to be alerted to any future videos that come out, and again, if you have any questions, please ask. My name is Paul with Diecast Graveyard, and cheers.